No.
By freeconferencecall.com. There is one other participant in the conference.
Hi, good evening everyone out there and welcome to Aproko Hour. Thank you so much for joining us. This is going to be one of those evenings where we're just going to go through several different stories. We're going to try and bring you the latest news over the week and the latest gossip as well. I am your host, Bimbo. I know it's normally Rachel, but I kind of fired her. No, not really. She's going to be on the show a lot later. So I am hosting this evening, and obviously I am going to be joined by my very wonderful panel of people a lot later in the show. So please dial in and just let us know, what your thoughts are on the topics that we're going to be discussing, and we'll be happy to kind of just get you involved. Now, if you want to dial into the show, the number you need to dial for UK is 0330 998 1261. Again, the number is 0330 998 1261. If you are dialing from the United Kingdom, you need 712 770 4032. Again, that number from the US is 712-770-4032. And if you're going to dial in from Nigeria, this is going to be a local number for you. It is 1-440-5024. Again, it's 1-440-5024. And in every instance, you are going to need the access code, which is 264812, and you dial hash to join us. I think I already have a few people on the show. Can you let me know if you can hear me, guys?
Yep. Okay.
Hi, hello. So we are joined by Nkiru and Rachel, the other Rachel, the head of hiring and firing for the whole of Viva Nigeria Radio. You do not want to piss this lady off because she will sack you. Rachel, say hello to everyone.
Hi everyone. I'm nicer than Bimbo.
I do not believe it. Stella, we need to worry about. Okay, definitely. Nkiru, say hello to everyone, please.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Aproko Hour. Ladies, how have you been? How's your Are you ready?
We are ready, definitely. Nkiru, I hope you're recovered from Wednesday's show. The Biafra talk. It was hot. Pandora's box. Okay, I will leave Pandora's box closed and just dive into the stories. Now, to start with. All right, no problem. Okay. So the story we're going to start with is one that is, it's a story of joy, but then it's also one of those stories where you just have to think at the end of it, what is happening. So this week, a little boy went missing. An 11-year-old boy who has been diagnosed with ADHD went missing on Tuesday morning after an argument with his mother about going to summer camp. Now, the boy disappeared. The family panicked about the safety of their son, and so they called the police, who brought out bloodhounds, the dogs and everything, smelling around trying to find him. The news had picked it up, and people were already starting to say, missing boy, blah blah blah. That's how one of the news people that was in a helicopter, just sort of surveying the family's home and everything, and neighboring areas, saw the boy taking a nap on the parents' roof. This boy no go past mama house. He didn't leave the compound. He didn't leave the compound. He was on the roof taking a nap, and it's like. I tell you, they said that the mom told the news that she's embarrassed, that she didn't mean to cause any trouble or waste police time. Because and he was only missing for he was missing for about 2 hours, but then he's an 11-year-old boy, so I can understand that. Now, it's great that he was found and he wasn't truly missing, but you guys are parents. If that was you, what would you have done?
Rachel, please. Rachel, you call me, then you want to make me come and eat your national television. Lara. I'm just laughing. The recording has started.
So, what is the...
There's some part of your Nigerianness that doesn't go away.
I know, right? I know. Because it's one of those ones where the mother would just be like, you're safe, you're fine. You now beat... In fact, it's in front of the reporters, they'll start beating you. It's one of the reporters that beating you.
No. Let me tell you something. You see, in front of reporters, it won't be sweet because you're going to be doing it in a... You know, have you ever seen when person is smack person in a diplomatic manner? You want to smack up, but that you want to inject more pain, but because people are watching, you want to ginger yourself, hold yourself back. When they leave, once you hear the last sound of the exhaust of the last car, hey, just the blood. That's all I'm saying. Make me look like an idiot.
Oh my God. I think I would...
What's wrong with these kids? What's wrong with them?
I tell you. And the guy was like...
Where was it? Was it here in the UK?
No, it was in the US, I believe.
Yeah, it's in the US now.
It was in the US.
Defend your people. Defend your clan. There are some mothers and there are some mothers. I tell people, my 16-year-old he threw a tantrum one time in the public bus. That child disgraced me, not small. She had never thrown it again, Because I have to remind her, your mother is a Nigerian, forget that side. She's never gone down that road. So, by the time I tell the police officer, thank you very much. You know, I appreciate it. Me and you go in the house. They're born you. Okay, now.
Oh my God! But you know, the journalist was saying, you know, he was in Miami, and the guy was like, "Am I seeing what I'm seeing?" He said, "Okay, is that him? That's the kid on the roof. That's him." I know.
So it was even cut live before they even found it properly by his mother.
Yes. Missing white boy in Miami. What else do you expect?
Okay, it's alright. Black Piki, if you quarrel with your mama, you better run. Run, Forrest, run!
Run, Forrest, run!
Because after that quarrel, you better have the liver to come and face me again.
And apologize. Yeah, so yeah. Basically, he's thrown a tantrum that has ended up in the police wasting their time trying to find him and the news and everything. And it's like, man, I will show you Pepe. Anyway, moving on to one of the other news. I read a story this week. I don't know if you know the Blue Peter, what's it called? Blue Peter presenter, and the Akinwolere, the black guy. There's a Blue Peter presenter who's a Nigerian guy, but he actually goes by Andy.
Andy, oh yeah, is he Nigerian?
He's Nigerian. He's Nigerian who speaks Yoruba. He's Nigerian who speaks Yoruba. Now, let me tell you, I'm just going to give you the kind of like just a short read of the article that he was saying. He says that his first name is Odunayo, and that his family calls him Ayo. But that when he was around, I think maybe he said 8 or something like that, when they made the conscious decision to move from Nigeria to Birmingham, his family decided to use his middle name, which was Andrew, named after Saint Andrew, because his parents are Catholic. Now, that's the name that he started with, because they were saying, okay, it's already going to be difficult for him to start in a new school, in a new country, in a new continent. He's also going to have a different name. So they went with calling him Andy and everything. Now, he's saying that he didn't really mind that when he was younger, but that now that he's grown older, he's had time to travel around the world, learn about other different cultures, meet different people. And when they read his name and they hear his proper name, people that he work with are always going, but why don't you use that name? That's a really gorgeous name, and it's a really nice name. And that, there's always been that talk about how ethnic sounding names can hinder you getting a job, or fitting in with an ethnic name in a different background and everything, and people not being able to pronounce your name. But as of now, he's kind of thought about it in a way that, the world is so diverse. In Birmingham, where he lives, there was about 187 different nationalities. So frankly, the fact that everyone will not be named John, Bob, and Andrew or something is not necessarily, a bad thing. That's something that the world has now kind of gotten used to. So he's absolutely fine with it. So he's now decided that from Inside Out, he was telling BBC Inside Out that when he does the show on BBC One at 7:30, he's going to introduce himself as Ayo Akinwolere, that he's not going to be using Andy anymore. Because that's kind of what he started with, and he kind of ended up that he got the job at Blue Peter, and he was presenting, and he won the BAFTA and everything. But to be honest, he said that he's now kind of gotten to a point where he loves Nigerian food. He loves his Nigerian heritage. He speaks Yoruba fluently still, but that he wants to appreciate his ethnicity. So I actually quite like that. And, he went through why he changed his name and everything. And it's a good thing to read. But one of the questions that I wanted to ask is, have you ever thought, or have you ever kind of changed your name or modified your ethnic name to fit into the Western world?
Yes. Please, can I go first?
Yes, go first.
When I was born here, but you know how it is, I'm born here, then they take me to Nigeria because they not the only me, we all went. So it's not like I'm the black sheep. We all went. We went to Nigeria, and let me defend it before they would think there's only me they carried home. So we all went to Nigeria now. And then we now came back. Obviously, I relocated back to the UK in 1994 after my daughter was born. And when I came back, when I went through the first 2 years of college, because you have to adjust and get to first before they now get into uni. When I went through the first 2 years of college, when I was applying for uni, I was at the same time applying for jobs. So I'm one of those ones who went to work first to make money before I went to uni to finish.
Yeah.
So I was applying for jobs in Aproko. Nothing, nobody answered me, nothing. What? The day I changed my name on my CV to Sophia, which is my middle name, by the way, to Sophia Onido, I swear to God, the week I sent out 4 applications, 3 came back with you coming for an interview. Out of those 3, I got 2 of the jobs. What? So I was annoyed. Aproko, obviously sounds, if they probably look at them, they'll probably find it. But with Sophia Onido, because of my surname, people think my surname is Chinese. I don't understand how. I don't understand where. But the Sophia blended quite nicely, and I got my job in NatWest Bank with my first name. But when I got in there, my manager said to me, "Why are you asking? Is this your first name?" I said, "No, my first name on my passport is Aproko. But I say Sophia to make it easier for people so they don't spoil my name, because I'm one of those people who get annoyed when people mess my name up.
Yeah.
If you can't pronounce it, ask me. Don't call it. That's my policy.
Yeah.
Don't call my name. If you're going to say Nukuruka or Nukuru, you can't see it in there. There's one I, one U. You pronounce it anyhow. But I had to do that. But when I did it, it was a positive thing for me because I got a job.
Yeah.
When I was using my Nigerian name, they don't answer you. Everything was a rejection. I cannot count how many rejection letters I got. But Sophia got me my first job. Then I got into my second job, and my manager insisted I had to use my name, my actual birth name, Kiruka. If people couldn't pronounce it, she goes to me, if you can pronounce Smith and Robert, then they can pronounce Kiruka. Like joke. They didn't have a choice. And that's how I stuck to it. Yeah.
Okay. I can understand that. Rachel, if you got anything like that?
The weird person, right? So, Rachel is not actually, Rachel, I was never named Rachel. My parents never gave any of us English names. Are you serious?
Really?
Yep. Wow. Please,
so what's your ethnic name then?
Oh yeah. It's on Facebook in Moisin. I have both Benin names and Yoruba names. So my ethnic name is in Moisin also. My Yoruba name is Beke Leluwa.
Beke Leluwa. Wow. That's some serious Yoruba name.
Wow. Exactly. So one day, both of them mean the same thing. I put faith in God.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh.
Love it. So one day, I think I'm going to be 13. At the time, I and my siblings, we were bored. We didn't know what we were doing. And so we looked at our parents and said, this is something wrong with you. We didn't give us English name. And we all sat down.
And came up with your own English name.
And came up with our own English name. That's what we did. Nice. But I was 13. Hindsight is 2020. I actually, just like the guy that we talked about, growing up, I actually love my traditional name. It's just that, my stupidity as a teenager. We didn't just put the name, we made them put it on our, do addendum to the birth certificate. So Rachel is everywhere now. I can no
really? Oh, okay. I completely understand.
I can remove Rachel and when so that's how Rachel became my husband for life. That's for life.
I completely understand that though, because a lot of people at work call me Abby, and it's because with me it was more, I couldn't have people calling me Bimbo. Okay. Everyone that I've always known they've always called me Bimbo. Now in college, they knew. Some people would call me Abimbola, but it was quite bad the way they pronounced it, and people used to mumble Abimbola or Amlola or Amlola or Amlola. And it was just, at some point I was just kind of like, okay, call me. No one who is proper, until I entered this country, no one had ever called me Abby before. Ever, not even Nigerian people. The one time that somebody tried to do it, I cleared them out completely and told them my name is not Abby, it's Abimbola. You either call me Abimbola, you call me Bimbo, the agreed shortened format. But obviously, I get here, I can't be having people calling me Bimbo all over the place. So instead they started calling me Abby. I am not a particular fan of the name Abby. For some reason, I feel like my full potential isn't yes in that name. And sometimes I try and change it and just go, it's Abimbola. But then by the seventh time that I've corrected somebody about how they pronounce my name in a conference call or in meetings or just them calling me, I just get fed up with it. And I'm like, I can't be doing this all over the place. I'm exhausted. I know. So yeah, I think in some way I gave in. I gave in to the pressure of I just don't want to be dealing with all this nonsense. When in reality I probably should have just kept schooling people. It's Abimbola. That's what you need to call it. And maybe I could have been brave enough to also be called Bimbo. But for some reason, I didn't think that was quite ideal, being called Bimbo, seeing as it translates into something completely different as well here. So it's like saying, okay, the shorter format of my name is Ashao. And then I'll now enter with my big chest and I'll be saying, yeah, call me Bimbo. It's like, that's so, some of it might seem so apropos. Physically, it might seem very appropriate, but in reality, it's not. So yeah, I definitely gave into that pressure, and I can understand this guy wanting to go back to his proper name. And I think, and he, the names are sweet. That's the other part as well, is when I translate and Nigerian people translate the meaning of their name, it is so beautiful. And that's one of the reasons you get called that name. So you get called this beautiful definition of what your name is. Hello, we have Taiwo Onirington on the call. Hello, Taiwo. And we also have somebody else. Good evening. I have someone with the number ending 3092. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, ladies. This is Dolapo calling.
Oh, hi, Dolapo. Oh.
Which Dolapo? Not our Dolapo.
It can be our Dolapo.
That's Dolapo. But yeah, hi guys.
And I have Remy with
Hi.
Oh, hello. Hi, Remy and Dolapo.
How are you guys? What's going on?
We're good.
We're good. How are you?
I'm fine. I know you didn't recognize the number. We're, as usual, on our 10-hour trip to
Okay.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, cool. Well, that's all right then. You're welcome. I don't know if you've been hearing what we were talking about. We were talking about ethnic names in Western world. One of our TV presenters here who, until I mentioned, Nkiru didn't actually know this guy was a Nigerian guy, but his name is Ayo Okewolere, and he has been called Andy right from when he was a child because his middle name is Andrew, and his parents made a conscious decision to call him Andrew. So now this guy, he's been a presenter for a while now. He says he's in his 30s, and he's just at that stage where he thinks, you know what, there's so much ethnic diversity. He's just going to embrace his name, and he now officially is going to be called Ayo Akewolere on every show that he presents. He's no longer going to be called Andy. So I was just asking everyone if they had ever been through that whole process of you anglify your name so that you don't have to use your ethnic name in the Western world.
For me, funny enough, I've never my name is Dolapo, almost Dolapo.
Really?
So there's nothing to occupy. There's nothing to occupy. Nickname-wise, people have always called me from Nigeria, Dolly, that, whatever. So, but as far as, even the Canadians around here, I get different versions of my name from Dolapo to Latino or whatever. But eventually, if they hang around me long enough, they get to know that my name is Dolapo. They might call it Dolapo or whatever, but they get to know it. So, I understand how what I see here that happens, a lot of Chinese people come around to Canada, and the next thing you know is their name changes from Yang to, Leslie Fu. At that end, name, Leslie Shaolin Province or whatever, but, but I guess they're just trying to fit it. Maybe that comes from experience. After all these years, you've been sending resumes, and because of your name, you never even get that calling. So you know that.
Well, that's what someone was saying. Oh, I was just about to ask Taiwo a question. He just dialed off. Oh, Taiwo's back. Hello. So, Taiwo, have you ever been in that position where you've had to aglify your name?
Actually, I didn't actually aglify it.
So what they call you, Thai? Okay. Really? Are you sure you're Nigerian? You're probably the one Nigerian that doesn't have 7 names. Seriously?
I think Yoruba normally do, don't they?
Yeah. We have like 7 names.
I think one of my sons has 10. Who is not only us?
It's not only Nigerians, though. It's not only Yorubas, it's Igbos as well.
I only have 2.
Was that the cue?
It was not me, it was Big Ball.
What?
I said more than that. She said 7, I said not more than that.
Where's Rachel?
She's not around today. She's not around today, but I have just had a breaking news. So I'm going to segue into something completely different now. Nnamdi Kanu apparently has announced a day of rage where all Indie Igbos will burn their Ndibos, sorry, we're all Ndibos. Thank you, Jerry. Well, Ndibos will burn their INEC Nigeria voters card and Nigerian passports publicly. So forgive me, Uche Mefo, I think this is how it's pronounced. Uche Mefo, who is IPOB deputy director, also announced that Nigerian passports will be replaced with newly issued Biafran passports. The London-based IPOB second in command said IPOB is committed to enforcing no election in what he called Biafra Republic and the public burning of INEC voters cards and Nigerian passport will demonstrate the commitment of Biafrans to leave Nigeria. Now, someone has obviously stated there what their comment is that first off, Nnamdi Kanu has both a British and Nigerian passports. So does Uche Mefo, his deputy. So does Uche Mefo. He also has a British and Nigerian passport. Now, the deputy and other IPOB members are based in America and Germany. So asking Igbos in Nigeria to burn their Nigerian passports. So for the only one they have, exactly, to be replaced with a passport that's not going to be recognized worldwide. Now, okay, before the show started, I was worried about, it's been a slow news week, and there probably wasn't a lot that we're going to talk about. But thankfully, people like Nnamdi Kanu are ever so willingly to give us so much to talk about because of their stupidity and in fact, I won't even go into it. I'm going to let you people dissect it. So first off, they said all Ndigos to burn their Nigerian passports. What do you guys think?
Under fire there.
You support the idea?
Who is that?
It's the Lapo. He supports it now. Maybe they won't leave country.
No, seriously, but Lapo, you know what? Lapo is probably right. Let the idiots burn their passports. Then there's an excuse to actually get rid of them from that place. They should burn it.
This is where I'm going. Let them burn the passport. And then, when they want to apply later, what happens? You burn your passport. Now want to come and collect another passport. Well, it's a lie. They can't come and now passport.
How can you prove you're Nigerian? We don't know that you're Nigerian. We don't believe you.
What is wrong with these people?
A lot of them don't think. When on Wednesday we
They should come and take my Nigerian passport. Me, I'm good. My own has expired. I'll send my expired passport to them.
I'm not giving anybody anything. I'm not going to do nationalities like that.
Oh my God.
I want to ask a question.
Rachel, go ahead.
Do you mean that the Igbo man that is 1 naira, because 1 naira drop, everybody knows how happening, that use his own money and go and find a life to get Nigerian passport. You don't know Nigerian passport is not cheap. He's going to come out like Kuru and possibly have American visa, German visa, from the Kanu for that side. Nobody will want that. You know what? This great Kanu will see opposition.
But they're not going to burn their passport. They're going to burn symbolic passports that they will be printed for. They'll bring some old passports and
it's the old passports that they'll burn. They'll burn their old passports.
Their Nigerian passports.
You know what? Yeah? Go ahead.
So Amsterdam is selling them the Biafran passport. He has even the Biafran embassy there.
Thank you.
So let them collect that one.
And they also burn their bank cards and their debit cards and leave all that money to Nigeria. We don't mind.
They've also said they should burn their
bank. All the banks belong to Nigeria. So they cannot burn all the assets and leave the money to us.
What I wanted to say was that lady that we were discussing with us that was pro Biafra Wednesday.
Oh God.
Her name is Grace. Don't forget her name. Her name is Grace.
where she was residing in. Was she in Lagos? Niger. Oh, I know it was Niger. But I had a feeling she was in Lagos, and she was talking about all this. We've been discriminated again. We've been marginalized, and I just had this feeling like your ass probably sitting somewhere in Lekki or in Kenya talking about marginalization. No, that really can't be in Lekki now.
I know, Nkiru, it's unfortunate, but Lekki does not discriminate like that. Anybody can live there. That's the problem with Nigeria. Oh my God. Okay, so of course, from what you guys have been saying, I know you guys will not burn your Nigerian passports, but do you think you know people out there, except for maybe Greece, who would actually burn their Nigerian passports? Because Greece.
No, it's a lie. I know someone. I met a lady in my children's school. A lot of Nigerians go there. A lot of Igbos. I've got actually, because I'm a parent governor in my son's school. Now a lot of Igbo. I know all the Igbo people. So it's like an Igbo community. Only for me to be joking with one woman who has son in my son's class in year 1. And next thing, I was talking to 2 other parents about the Biafra thing, and was flagging up the Biafra, saying, look at the nonsense we are doing. We have problems in our country. We don't need extra. Only for the girl to say, do you know, so I say, what do we mean? Do you know the way my neck turned like Freddy Krueger? Yeah? I turned round and looked at who was speaking. My jaw dropped. I said, what did you say? She goes, I'm for Biafra. I said, what? I cannot tell you that. All I know is that as far as a person is concerned, we're never speaking again. We are not speaking again. And to this girl, she don't get paper for this UK where she did. Let her run her passport. Let her try herself. Deportation instanta. You know, it's $350 if you don't have your Nigerian passport. You don't have a copy of it. And you want to document. Oh my dear, no, $50. You are not paying for the passport itself.
Most of us that live abroad are not going to go passport because they know how important that thing is.
They know how they can try. Even the ones in Nigeria with the hope of going abroad, they are not going to passport. Is not cheap.
One passport because after all, that passport has been rejected like 4 times at the American embassy.
Oh, maybe that one, sha. They won't bring all those old, the fake passports that they have used. They won't bring the original.
You know what? Sorry?
What date?
What date? I don't. He hasn't said the date yet. He said he announced a day of rage.
He just said date for day of rage. He said day of rage.
He just said day of rage. He hasn't actually announced a date yet.
And you know what? This is very good. If Kanu decides to burn a Nigerian passport, right? And I want to do it as a press conference. Show us the passport. Let us
and put fire to it.
With the name and put fire to it. And I will have immigration pick him up right there and there because you are not there.
Yeah. Hey.
I'll be very surprised. All these people that go to they're always going to apply for international visas that have never gotten it before, they're in Nigeria. So for example, let's use Grace. Unfortunately, Grace came on and she kind of showed herself up to be what she is. So for the next few months, for me anyway, personally, not necessarily for the show, so don't take this all out on the Viva Nigeria radio, but for me personally, she's going to be the butt of my jokes for a while, because until she learns to have sense. So anyway, let's just imagine Grace, for example, takes her passport to American embassy or British embassy or even South African embassy. It's just let's use South Africa and say, okay, I want to apply for visa. I want to go to South Africa or whatever, and they give her for South Africa or any other country and say, okay, great, you can go now. And then she's not like, oh, she's been once, but that visa still lasts for like maybe another 6 months or so. I bet you cannot pay Grace enough money for her to burn that passport with that visa still on it. Or I dare her to burn it and then take a Biafran passport, supposedly, and go to an American embassy or even a Ghanaian embassy and say, I want to have Ghanaian visa to go to. What? They don't even recognize the passports anyway. They're not. It's not a recognized nation. So It's a whole. In fact, I dare any of them.
Social experiment. I volunteer to pay to apply as American.
Yep. Me too. I'll pay for a British one.
Let me see.
I will pay for her British one. Let her apply, and I dare her to burn it.
Pay for the application. Yeah, I volunteer to buy the space for you in front of everybody.
Oh. Imagine.
People are not thinking. I don't know the person they're following, and this is the same thing. The person they're following has means of getting out
of survival.
Of course, which Ojukwu did. He took the first chance he got. He left the country.
Not only that, Ojukwu just left the country. He had enough time and money to carry his friends with him.
Oh,
exactly? So it was planned. He was going to run. He was going right from day one, and so this is the person they want to follow. That's the person that they want to follow. And the worst part of it was that whole picture of all these the prayer stuff that they've been doing, the other stuff they've been doing on Instagram. I've forgotten the name now. Hallelujah challenge, yes. So the Biafrans have one as well that they do on the Hallelujah challenge, saying God will deliver us. And I'm kind of like, I was on that page and I was looking at it and I really wanted to comment to say, this is exactly why you're not going to get anywhere, because you all are those bunch of people that will sit there and be saying, we shall be delivered. Not a single one of you understands what the Nigerian policy actually is, what changes are required. If you were to go and create Biafra, what it would entail, what it means. It is not just a means of, okay, you cannot have Biafra. They just sit there at home and say, I want to do this, I want to go. And that's it. They don't do anything.
Yeah, go back and see the comments from Grace on that Viva Nigeria, where she believes that, if Biafra or Igbo people develop all the other parts of Nigeria except Igbo land. And I'm like, okay, you're not thinking. If they did, why didn't they develop? It's a matter of common sense. Some of them just have the rhetoric that is supplied to them by Cardinal and the Cardinal, which is that the way you're suffering, the way you have no money, don't worry, it has nothing to do with your level of education. It has nothing to do with the fact that you are still somewhere around the village where there is no money, you can't find any job. It is that Yoruba man and that Hausa man that is causing your problem. That's all it is.
Yes, it's always it's always someone else's fault.
They're looking for someone else to blame. Yeah.
It's always someone else's fault. But you saw my reply to her on the Facebook group, on the Viva Nigeria group, where I was telling her that yes, it is everyone else's fault. You want to blame your mediocrity on everyone else. It has nothing to do with the fact that you are really one of those people who is mediocre and you just sit on your ass and do nothing. But it's everyone else's fault. Anyway, that story I've talked enough about Biafra. For a non-existing nation, it has taken a lot of time and effort from everybody else.
Yeah.
So coming to another part of the news. Did you guys actually realize, I don't know if you knew, that there was another man who was identified as the kidnapper, Evans, by the police, even before the actual real Evans was caught. So by the time they'd found out the story of this Evans person and whatever, the police mistakenly gave the wrong identification of who it was. It was an innocent guy. Now, I am going to massacre this Igbo name, so please forgive me. Tochukwu Ambrose Madike. He was the one, his picture and his name was the one that was publicized all over the papers as the notorious kingpin kidnapper on the loose. Now, this guy, lucky for him, he was nowhere near Nigeria when all of this was happening. They actually put out a 30 million bounty on his head. This guy was in Angola on business, so thankfully he didn't get picked up by the police or anything, and by the time he'd arrived, the real Evans had been caught and that story had made publication. Whew. Now, knowing how our Nigerian police are, where they just beat you to within an inch of your life if you do not confess to doing something. Imagine if they picked up this guy and they beat the crap out of him, like, it's you are the kidnapper, you are Evans, and he say, I don't know, I wasn't there, it's not me. They've have almost killed him before they actually realize, and they'd have even probably stopped looking before they realize that they have the wrong persons now in Nigeria. He buys several land in Nigeria. Me self, I would have turned him in now. Me self, I would have turned him in.
This is part of what was not wrong with Nigeria. We're not thinking, and I hate to bring it back to what was discussed earlier. We need to do with the issues we have in Nigeria rather than start thinking about how we can divide ourselves. Because dividing ourselves means we're still going to have the same issues.
Of course.
The problem we have there is we have no unique way of identifying everybody in Nigeria. We have not been able to do that. The closest we have is having that BVN by the bank. But within that unique number, like you have a 9 number in the UK.
Yes.
You have the social number here in Canada. You have social security. It's something that is unique that you can have and protect. Because who knows? You will have been. Could have possibly been a genuine mistake by the police. Maybe somebody pointed them in the wrong direction. Maybe this was people actually use nickname Evans. Nobody knows. But since we don't have any unique way of identifying anyone, if they are out there, if they were looking for Evans, I remember Evans was earlier arrested in 2011. For some either domestic violence issue or whatever. If Nigeria had been what Nigeria should be, at that point, Evans should have been fingerprinted, all the biometric data.
Yeah.
So in 2017, we won't be making mistake of trying to figure out who Evans.
Of course, yes. Yes, exactly. It's the same way, the way it works all over the world, where, if you'd already been arrested, they have your fingerprints. In some countries, depending on where it is, they have your DNA and everything. And, that's one of the reasons why they're able to catch some criminals a lot easier, because if they find your DNA somewhere else, it implicates you and different things like that. But in this day and age in Nigeria, all we're still using is, we'll put it on Facebook and say, do you recognize this person?
We will get there someday, but with the light of the way two things, it is illegal for Nigeria to withhold the passport of a criminal in the country called Nigeria.
Yeah, true. True.
More people that will have 10 different IDs. We are just a corrupt bunch of people.
I do that. We can't help ourselves. But I now remember now, that passport has been seized by the Nigerian government. It's not going anywhere. So it's not burning any passport.
That he doesn't have.
Don't mind the animal. Don't mind the animal. All passports under the safekeeping of the Nigerian government. But he's telling people to burn their passport.
Of course now. And stupid people will do it. Some stupid people will do it. Because they're that stupid.
You see all these are my boys. Let me call them my boys now. I'm claiming Igbo people right now. All these my boys, they put container on high sea. When they go China, there might be some of this Biafra nonsense talking now, but for him to say God passport, they will insult his ancestors. None of those China boys are running jack. None.
It's true. Can you imagine? You're coming from China, bringing in your the diapers, the container full of pampers, and he's coming and you say, you know what? I will buy my Nigerian passport. Yeah, your container will burn.
Hey, sorry.
Oh my God, I can't even do it.
I'm sorry for dragging that conversation back to that. I don't remember.
Me, I shall want front row seats. When they are going to burn it, I want front row seats. What's up? We're listening. Dalapo.
I'm just talking about the current issue ever. I don't know if you guys noticed, it's nothing that continues to piss me off, which is the way the Nigerian press continues to describe this guy as millionaire kidnapper. Why are we like they're celebrating it? Unless I'm not
Sorry, Ty, what you said?
I don't think they're celebrating him. They just want us to know that the kind of money this guy has gathered from kidnapping people. It's not a small amount of money.
First of all, he's not a billionaire because he's in Naira. And we don't count billionaires or millionaires that are in Naira value. Alright?
True.
Everything he has.
True.
So that's what is not a billionaire, it's Naira.
It's true though. But then the other thing as well is they've been sort of saying that why is people are insulting Files the bad guy for making a comment on social media about you people need to stop celebrating fraudsters, and they're cursing him out, and it's like. I can't remember who said it on the show a couple of weeks ago when we're talking about Evan's topic, and somebody said that I won't be surprised in a few years' time when they will elect Evans as a governor or senator or something like that. Somebody said it on the show, and to be honest, it looks like we're heading towards there. Because why would people be cussing files out? Everybody's about Evans. Evans is they're creating memes about him, they're making jokes and everything, but nobody wants to focus on the fact that you really are celebrating a kidnapper. This is someone who has thought that a human being's life is so trivial and so inconsequential that they take them away from family and they barter them for money. Simple as.
Can you imagine? The errand
I agree. I mean, if this guy wasn't caught this year, if they had given him 5 more years, he probably would have found a way to transform himself into a governorship candidate.
Of course.
My dear.
And he probably still will. If anybody ever hears anything bad about this guy, there will be some people willing to kill for his behalf.
Of course. Of course there will be, which is the sad part of it, to be honest. Okay, so let's move on to a different story. So there was a campaign called Stop Sexual Abuse Now. It's from a non-governmental organization in Nigeria, and what the reports, one of the main people managing the campaign, Nkem Ije, said that the attitudes of parents in Nigeria is actually responsible for the prevalence of sexual abuse in the country. That according to her, some parents coerce their children into silence because of socio-economic reasons, for financial reasons, and it's also the fact that the children are afraid that they will not be believed. That's just a quick synopsis of what it says. I don't know what it's called. What's it called? He's saying, okay, so there's the GAF president. I don't actually know what GAF is. I probably should have researched this if I started talking about it. But the GAF president, Isaac Moses, was saying that his profession as a media entrepreneur, I know what GAF is now, has exposed him to the challenges of facing African youths. And part of it has to do with the fact that they're living in a society where everything is all about appearances. It's basically it's down to you can't say this out in people, what people think, you can't say it out in public, what people think, you can't say this about the breadwinner, how will we be able to eat, what will they say about your father, your uncle that is very rich, and something like this, that man down the road that gives everybody money, that kind of stuff. So I want to know, do you agree with that assessment that Nigerian parents actually contribute to the increase in sexual abuse of their children?
Nigerian men or Nigerian parents?
Nigerian parents. Parents, so both fathers and mothers.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Yeah,
so many uncles.
Yeah.
Taiwo, you haven't said anything in a while. Taiwo.
Huh? Yes.
You haven't said anything in a while. What do you think? Do you think that it actually is true that Nigerian parents contribute to the increase?
I would say no.
You think not?
Slightly, because the state of Nigerian society is not that you can't control what happens. Society is the next, So the parents have no choice but to conform to what's going on in society. You can't stop when the kids will do what they're doing. If you can't afford to give your kids what they want and they go outside to try and get it, then what are you gonna say? Nothing.
But
it's not like they chose. Maybe by default they are.
I agree. I don't know if any of you have heard about the story about a governor's son that raped a 7 or 8-year-old girl in the north. Right.
Yeah, we heard about it.
That's an example of where a man, basically because his father is the big all and alcohol maker in the state, said that he can get away with whatever, raped a 7-year-old girl. And now the father of the girl is trying to compensate, has now been locked up.
Wow.
And the girl now is dead. Now,
she's dead.
You can ask you what the pressure is when you don't have the money or the status to fight the fight. You better perform. Otherwise, your family will be destroyed completely.
That is some ridiculous.
Yeah. Not that it's right, but that's what the reality is.
Wow. That is a surprise. That is an absolute surprise. I cannot believe that. Okay, so I'm sorry, this is just ridiculous for me. I'm trying to understand.
I was going to say something.
Yeah.
To some extent, I agree. To some extent, I agree with the statement, but I definitely bristle at the statement Nigerian parents, because that is making an implication that every other place where sexual abuse of children exists, parents are not culpable. A lot of parents whose kids are exposed to this are culpable for one reason or the other. That is not taking away the societal problems that we have in that instance that we just mentioned here. The 7-year-old girl was raped by the son of a rich man, and that also is not unique to Nigeria. I bristle at this because it makes it difficult for the problem to be addressed by saying Nigerian parents.
Yeah.
And honestly, the culpability of saying I can't provide for my kids, it goes really back to family planning. If you are minimum wage earners, maybe you should have just one child and not 4 children, and start expecting the society to provide, because society is not responsible for that. I'm one of those people who do not believe in the government providing social. Because why should the government be responsible? I didn't do you at night to get you pregnant. You should plan it. Exactly. And then you bring a child out, you don't want to take responsibility for your actions. I'm sorry. Why is it that it's people that are supposed to care for their kids that have 2 or 3 children, or 1 or 2? Meanwhile, people that are not even earning 20,000 naira have 6, 8 children. And you expose those children to sexual abuse, all kinds of abuse. And you want to sit down and tell me society, it's on you. Nah.
Yeah, well, I suppose I understand that, and I know a lot of there is both. There's the fact that you never can know what will happen if you report something like that, but then there's some parents that actually threaten their children and so on and tell them not to say anything because the person that committed the crime is someone who is powerful or is the head of the family, so there's giving them money and.
What I'm saying is, I feel like saying only Nigerian, like when you say Nigerian parents, not only Nigerian parents.
Well, they said some parents, to be exact. So the exact was some parents aid sexual abuse in children. So they were, I suppose, because they're Nigerians, they're using Nigeria as an example, but they actually said some parents. And I think that can be the case for a lot of places. Even here, in years before it used to become quite a thing. A lot of times parents would say, "Oh, don't say anything about being touched. It's because it's a shame on the family." So in the 20s, and 30s and whatnot, you wouldn't say if your child was abused or molested per se, because sometimes it's a shameful thing for the family themselves, especially if the family is not extremely poor and know no better. If they're kind of middle-aged, and they won't say it out, because you're just struggling to hold on to that. I say middle-aged, middle class. They're just about struggling to hold up to that middle class image that they have. Now imagine something, this kind of scandal happens and people find out. So they used to say it then. So it's not just in Nigeria, but I think it's a case of the fact that there's also, like, for example, this governor now, the one that Dolapo mentioned. I am surprised that we all know about this story, yet no one higher up in Nigeria has heard about this story and has made an example of that governor's child. This is one of the things that really annoys me, is there's also that fact that we know these things happen in Nigeria, we know the names, we see it happen, and yet not a single person in a place of authority actually decides to say, you know what, you are not above the law, we are going to hold you accountable, and we want to make you an example for everyone else out there. This is what prevents other people from committing crimes, is that you pick someone, you make an example of themselves, preferably someone well known, and it makes it easier for other people to think, okay, I'm not going to do this shit. It might be powerful, but it's not going to happen because I can't get away with it. Sometimes people commit these crimes and they do these things because they know they can get away with it. And that's part of the problem. So yes, I think it's institutional in the government in itself, but some parents don't help themselves either. That uncle, you don't look at the behavior of your child to see, when they go for a sleepover with one family friend, do they come back a lot more reserved or whatnot? We don't look out for those things, or at least some parents do not look out for things like that. And I think that in itself is a detriment to the children. We need to be vigilant. We know the kind of world we live in, and frankly, we kind of need to step up our game, I think.
You're talking about Nigeria, and that is the problem right there. All right? I will go for this. I hope you can visualize me. I kind of imagine somehow starting my daughter, and so that is responsible. It will be difficult unless I'm trying to fight for my daughter. I'm willing to forego everything I have to do with my other kids and my wife.
Yeah.
For that, I can understand. I will call my daughter and let her know that, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm not going to tell you to keep quiet. But this is not going to be solved the police way. Because if we do that, these people have the power and the money to structure. But I guarantee you one thing. Before I breathe my last breath, that person will die.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I can understand that. Okay.
That's the only person in Nigeria. This very government you're talking about, in fact, there was a particular investigator that decided that, no, this cannot happen. He went and picked up the governor's son, put him in prison, and the governor pushed all the buttons and within, I think, 72 hours, got his son down. And then he went and found out who was the investigating officer that decided that he was stupid enough to lock up my son. And he now called the guy up and said, oh, sure, you are the one. What do you want? How much do you want? And I was like, if that's your daughter, would you allow such a thing to happen? And the mother was like, that will never be my daughter. Ever.
Yeah.
So, the corruption has eaten to the point where even when kids are born into their affluent homes, they are taught things at a very young age that until they are 20, they don't even know what is right or wrong anymore. Exactly.
True. Exactly. I can completely agree.
I'm not from a poor house, but I can remember if I ever do anything, forget about money. I'm talking about the man as mobile police come and do that. Don't you understand that that thing is more important than anything else? But things are going up. Taking, yes, true, the name is important, but the name is important because of the money and the power.
Yes.
And therefore, we are popular. And so they get away with things that they're not supposed to. I'm getting all riled up.
No, I can understand why you're getting riled up. This is one of those. It's actually a really big thing for me. This is one of those topics that always gets my goat about children being molested, and people want to equate that to. Exactly, they want to justify it, or they want to say that child too, or that parent too. And these children, they grow up so quickly these days. I don't care how quickly they grow. I don't care if they shoot out tits at the age of 8. I do not care. Once a child is under 16, it does not matter where you come from, what they are, what it is. You do not touch them. They physically, emotionally not even in a position where they can deal with sex. However, if they're having sex with their own age mates and they're doing it behind their parents' back, okay, that's a bit different. You're doing it with your age mates. They're both children, they're both out of their own depths. But with an adult who should know better, I think they just need to be burning them at the stake. Just light fire under their ass.
I think there was a 7-year-old girl. There was a 7-year-old girl who her mom. I don't know whether the father was around, but the mom kept dropping her in school with uncle, who was the janitor. Yeah? And uncle said he would watch her till school opens because mom had to get to work on time. This guy molested this girl every day, warned her if she spoke. I think she was 6 or 7. Every day, warned her if she spoke. I don't think there was no penetration, but he was doing all the other things that grown-up pedophilic men would do. Every day the mother dropped this girl off. Every day she went through the same turmoil till one day the girl started shaking at home. Mom was saying, "It's time for sister." The girl said, "Mom, I don't want to go." Begged her mom, cried. When they now questioned her, she said, "No, because I don't want you to die." I said the man told the girl that he would kill her mother if she told her mom.
Yes, which is what
when they went to the school with police. Whoa. Man, nah, it's not on. That's a very short topic. It's a topic that we need 2 hours.
We need 2 hours for, yes.
Castration.
When I tell you that for Pete is good now. Pete is good now. And when the Pete scared, don't worry, I think between him
Anyway, I know you guys. I know this is a very sore topic, and we probably need to talk about it. We need to make it a topic on the Talking Drum one of these weeks. It like Nkiru said, it's a topic that needs at least 2 hours. And unfortunately, Aproko hour is over, and we are out of time. Thank you so much. It was very quick, wasn't it?
That was quick.
It was.
Helping my tribe go along very nice.
Really?
Yeah.
So wait, are you saying that Remy is not company enough for you? Is that what you're saying? Dolako, go and answer yourself.
Are you allowed, Peter?
Yes, I'm on Peter, but let me tell you.
Remy, can you hear also?
What, can you hear them? I can hear you.
He's saying you're not enough for him in the drive.
Let me tell you exactly what trouble.
I guess we are.
Hotspot for her iPad, and she's on Nollywood.
She doesn't even send anybody. Oh my god. Anyway, before we take any more time, thank you so much, guys, everyone. It's been a great show. Join us again next week, where we will be discussing, what is the topic that we're discussing next week? Yes, I know this one. FDM. I believe. It's going to be a serious topic on Talking Drum next week, Wednesday.
Everybody's A game, bring it.
Exactly. So next week, bring your A game. Right. Okay. Thank you so much for joining the show, guys. Can you all say good night to everyone out there, and thank you so much for calling in. Good night, guys.
Night. Good night. So let's all drive safe. Journey mercy, and we shall see you on Wednesday. I mean, speak to you, hear your voice on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
I mean, phone us directly, properly, because this voice today is not sounding the same. Phone properly, I mean.